Let's talk farming in LEGO Fortnite. Farming is a super useful tool for growing food from seeds and of course creating seeds from food. It's very useful especially when you grow things like snowberries which give you resistance to the heat. As you can see, some plants you can harvest and most of the crop stays there, other ones revert back to being just a seed and grow from there. I'm pretty sure it also uses a seed that we place at the bottom if they're like this. Anyways, how do we get to this point where we're growing food? Well, first of all, getting seeds. There's a few ways to do this. First of all, using a shovel. Simply digging anywhere will give you usually soil and sometimes seeds. So I'm currently not getting any seeds here, but I've got some soil, but unfortunately luck just isn't on my side. Usually you'll get 1 or 2 per 20 or so soil that you pick up, especially when you're moving around into different areas. I haven't picked up anything here, but soil is something that we need. You can use either upgraded or normal shovels, it doesn't really matter. You'll need to collect dirt and on top of this, fertilizer in order to create the plots that we grow the seeds on. There's a great way to get fertilizer and that's simply from the natural animals running around. If you pet them, usually they'll give you an egg, or if you pet a cow, they'll give you milk, etc. But once in a while, they'll pop out some fertilizer, just like that. It's just Lego poop. You'll need poop and soil in order to make yourself the crops where we can grow some food. I've usually found seeds inside of chests, sometimes dug them up, or even found them breaking bushes / plants, etc. There's quite a few ways to get seeds. Now that we have fertilizer, soil, and a seed, let's get to growing something. For now, we'll need to make a plot of soil. To do so, open your buildings, head across to utility, scroll all the way down, and you'll find garden plot here. Simply select it and place it down on the ground. Now we can start putting a seed inside of it, so interact with it and put any seed in there. Now you'll see it appears and it'll start growing pretty much immediately. Just keep in mind that if you put something in here that's not a seed, it'll appear blank like these, meaning that it won't grow. For example, these mushrooms we can't grow in here, and in this one, we can't grow peppers that have already grown. We can only really put seeds inside of it to grow them. Eventually, your plant will start to grow and it'll reach a point where you can harvest it. This happens surprisingly often as these plants grow really quickly. You can always open them up to add more later on, but for the most part, that's the basics of growing food in your plot. Let's say you want to actually raise the stakes and get quite a few more plots growing. Obviously, you'll need more seeds, but if you'd like to get seeds from product that's already grown, say a spicy pepper or a raspberry, how do we do it? Well, it's relatively simple. We need to make a machine. I'll open the build menu, head across to utility, and you'll see a grain mill here. We need 20 Knotroot rods, 20 granite slabs, and 3 shells. For the Knotroot rods, head across to your lumber mill and select it, then deposit as many as possible, hopefully 20. I'll need to grab some more. There we go. Now that we've got 20 Knotroot rods crafting, we also need to make 20 granite slabs. So, heading across to a stone breaker, you can interact with it and select granite slab, change recipe, and create 20 of these. These are going to take substantially longer than the wood crafting that we have going on over there. Finally, the last ingredient that you need is 3 shells. These are easy enough to find simply by killing rollers, and eventually when you have enough, plop them in your inventory and we're ready to go. But for now, I'll need to wait for crafting to finish. Just a quick note, if you want fertilizer faster, you can of course hang around animals and drop them a few vines or other kinds of food that they can eat and possibly be interested in. This one over here is coming to eat this, and after it does, it should be producing more fertilizer, to say the least. There we go. Our machine is done, and now we have enough to create this machine. I'll select it and place the grain mill down somewhere, preferably inside, so we can use it when it's raining, but for now, I'll just put it here. If we interact with it, you can see that we have a ton of recipes: corn, raspberry, pepper, flour, etc. If we select maybe pepper seed, you'll see that we can put in spicy peppers, and if we assign it, then place them in. After a few seconds, we'll get back a seed that we can grow. This is especially good if, like me, you only have the actual fruit or food itself and you'd like to get these seeds. If we grab these, we can now plant them, and just like that, we've now created ourselves a pepper plant where previously we weren't able to as we didn't have seeds. Now you can do this for most kinds of fruit and stuff like that, but you can also create flour using wheat grain. You can create wheat grain with wheat, which you can grow by planting wheat grain. It's a long story. If we grab this and head across to wheat grain, we can change it and put in some wheat. It'll slowly be chopped up and we'll get 3 in return. Then we can grab it and head across to flour, where we can create 3 flour from just one wheat. It's that simple. If we put these in, it'll slowly craft up, and now we can take this to use in other recipes, say at the fire over here. We can use it to create a spicy burger, etc. This will temporarily increase your cold resistance and is super useful, especially if you live nearby cold environments or want to explore in them. This gives you 10 minutes of resistance to cold, so it's a seriously powerful tool to have. Creating at least a simple farm and a grain mill is pretty much imperative to explore the rest of the world and get places that were previously off limits. You can of course rely on finding these resources in the wild and in chests, but growing them is infinitely more reliable. Besides that, you now know how to create yourself a simple farm, create more seeds, and even do stuff with the resources that we farm. It's really powerful and something you should definitely consider doing at your home base. Anyways, hopefully you found this video useful. Thank you all for watching. My name's been Troubleshoot, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao!